My name is Jim Brooks, one of the co-developers and executive producers of The Simpsons. On October 1st, 1990, George Sr.'s wife had a cover story in People magazine. And in it she said, "I love America's funniest home videos, but remains baffled after sampling The Simpsons. It was the dumbest thing I had ever seen," she says, "but it's a family thing, and I guess it's clean." So this just happens to us. We, of course, not bothering anybody, keeping to ourselves, being model citizens. And then this article came out, and I decided that we should answer it, and the following letter was sent to the First Lady.
Dear First Lady, I recently read your criticism of my family. I was deeply hurt. Heaven knows we're far from perfect, and, if truth be known, maybe just a wee bit short of normal. But as Dr. Seuss says, a person is a person. I try to teach my children, Bart, Lisa, and even little Maggie, always to give somebody the benefit of the doubt and not talk badly about them, even if they're rich. It's hard to get them to understand this advice when the very first lady in the country calls us not only dumb, but the dumbest thing she ever saw. Ma'am, if we're the dumbest thing you ever saw, Washington must be a good deal different than what they teach me at the current events group at the church. I always believed in my heart that we had a great deal in common, each of us living our lives to serve an exceptional man. I hope there is some way out of this controversy. I thought perhaps it would be a good start to just speak my mind. With great respect, Marge Simpson.
That letter was sent on September 28, 1990. I like having to be historical. And on October 9th, 1990, I mean, quicker than you and I would send a letter back to somebody, the First Lady of the United States sent this reply.
Dear Marge, how kind of you to write. I'm glad you spoke your mind. I foolishly didn't know you had one. I'm looking at a picture of you depicted on a plastic cup, with your blue hair filled with pink birds peeking out all over. Evidently you and your charming family, Lisa, Homer, Bart, and Maggie, are camping out. It is a nice family scene. Clearly you are setting a good example for the rest of the country. Please forgive a loose tongue. Warmly, Barbara Bush. P.S. Homer looks like a handsome fella.
It seemed that everything was fine. We had sent our own slightly humorous letter. She had sent an almost gracious reply, and the matter was over. And then George Bush addressed the Convention of Religious Broadcasters in the United States and said this.
Well, let me tell you something. We are going to keep on trying to strengthen the American family, to make American families a lot more like the Waltons and a lot less like the Simpsons.
So we responded at the very top of our very next episode because they had been prompt with their letter to us and we wanted to be prompt.
We are going to keep on trying to strengthen the American family, to make American families a lot more like the Waltons and a lot less like the Simpsons.
Huh? Hey, we're just like the Waltons. We're praying for an end to the Depression, too.
Our relationship with the Bushes was going to be more complicated than anybody thought. For some strange reason, I was invited to a dinner for like 40 or 50 people, at which President Bush and the First Lady would be the guest of honors. So I thought we had a connection, that we'd shared a joke, and that it was sort of fun, and that we, in some strange way, I guess we'd each had given our individual messages out. So they have a receiving line where they have the First Lady and George Bush, and everybody goes to shake hands with them. And she's a beautiful looking woman, Barbara Bush. She's, everybody's mother. She has that image. You can't help but look at her and love her and feel like an American. So I'm feeling fine. I'm walking towards her, and and nervous and, giggling like I shouldn't be giggling, because it was sort of like, meeting him, meeting her. And she's at the line, and I stop and I say, "Mrs. Bush, my name is Jim Brooks. I'm the one involved in the Simpsons thing. Remember we had that exchange?" And she gave me a drop-dead, withering cold look where there's a receiving line where this cold air was just, and we had settled our score with her. Her husband was still mad at us. So it's rough to have people jammed around you as you're snubbed by the First Lady.